it with my initials on it or something? Yeah, I already told him, okay. Maybe I don't want to tell him, okay. No vacation for you. But I gave Glenn a very generous vacation time, so. But he's been around a while. Oh, you're trying to plug in. Is it over here? Where'd it go? Kathy.
Can I put this in? I think it's right by the post. I don't think it'll make it. I don't think it'll make it. Yeah, there isn't one.
It's all the way. What's?
Yeah, that's where I thought I was going. But I'll just here. Let me do this. I'll just plug it right here to the start.
It's cold out. So
I've got a job.
I suspect so. You're getting paid the big bucks. Sign's gonna be late, and I don't know about Fugler, so I don't know what to tell you. Somebody's getting. Is he still? So he is still in
I told her
California.
that I think he's still.
We may not have. Well, if we have four, we have
have a
four.
quorum, yeah.
We have four. Mary's here. Yeah. So you better hope that none of us disagrees with anything.
You realize you're on.
I'm fine. I stand by my words. Don't you? And you don't edit? Is that what you're telling me, Rhonda?
It takes a lot more time to edit.
Well, I'm so disappointed.
Just pause until we're ready to start, Rhonda.
Just do what?
Just hit the pause button before you start
It's a lot
recording.
more fun to capture.
Oh my God.
And then to play it and see what, are you watching the comments that come through?
Anything we can do to get interested.
Well, then I'm happy to serve.
Yes, well, thank you so much. I so appreciate your
All right, you got an agenda for me?
Well, and, you know, I don't know.
Whatever else I need? Is everything the same? There's like no master copy for the.
So guess what? It was a big fiasco, and I'm not saying anymore other you don't have a folder today because I am.
She's
I'm
folderless.
instituting cost-cutting measures.
This is her contribution to the budget crisis.
She's covering it. She's actually covering it.
No, I'm not covering because it was my making mistake.
You don't make mistakes, Kathy.
No, I know on my camera, yes, I should.
You know, I'm glad that John's not going to be here if we don't have the multiple report, because he'd be upset if we didn't have that.
Where's our
Rainbow sheet of cash. There's no rainbow sheet of cash today. I talked to.
We're on camera.
Is he getting better?
Yeah, how's he doing?
I think he thinks it's working. I'll be back before the 25th. As of the 25th, I might be able to work 20 hours for
Well, that's not really
That's a
bad.
long day.
And now his shoulder's starting to hurt.
It's
He's bored to death.
There is no more 4 a.m. phone calling and checking on the weather. That's all I can say. You guys are banned from it. You clearly can't handle the task. You're too disoriented.
I think that guy's lived there.
Oh, he has. He has. But it's a farm, according to him. I think this is it. I think this is all we're having. So if we want to start,
Yeah, I'm happy as long as this chair doesn't fly backwards when I went back.
now's your chance to switch. Yeah, we should be.
Should we try to get done before her son gets here?
Yeah.
Make him wonder what happened.
I'll leave.
All right. Are we ready? Everybody's good?
No, he's in.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'd like to call the regular meeting of Henry Ford College. What is the date today? February 18th. To order. Yes, I'm on cold medication. Forgive me. We are missing several board members, but we do have a quorum, which is all we need as long as we don't disagree. So, so I'm going to ask Trustee Thorpe to step in as secretary for the evening. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Hussein Berry.
Hussein Berry said that he would be late, but he will be coming.
Fadwa Hamoud, we haven't heard from yet.
No.
Mary Lane.
Here.
Roxanne McDonald.
Here.
Michael Mead.
He is out of the state.
James Thorpe here. And Chair Mary Pelichkoff.
Here. Next item, please.
Approval minutes. Approval of minutes of the following Henry Ford College Board of Trustees meetings from the special meeting of January 19th, 2019, and the regular meeting January 22nd, 2019. Recommended action, make any necessary corrections and move to approve these minutes.
Do I hear any
So moved.
corrections? Okay, oh, yes, move. Support. Any corrections or
I didn't
additions?
notice.
Yes, Trustee Lee?
Yeah, I don't think I came in at 9:40. I think it was shortly after the start, because I remember all of the presentation, and I remember
You're referring to the special meeting
for
then?
the special meeting minutes at page 1. So I actually emailed Kathy because I thought perhaps the breakfast had been first. So it's not really important, but, and certainly I'm late on occasion, but I don't think I was 40 minutes late, so anyways. I think I came in 5 or 10 minutes late. I remember that morning pretty well, and I said to
Yeah,
myself,
you were about 10 minutes.
It's not
I
too
think
bad
10
because
10
it's
minutes
really
late.
terrible driving.
Yeah, the weather
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So anyways.
And I have a correction as well. You've got Chair Mead as adjourning the last meeting, and I believe it was me.
Oh, sorry.
I had just assumed the mantle, so,
The names change, but the
yes,
duties remain the same.
yes,
The faces are all the same.
that's quite all right. Any other corrections or additions? All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, we'll attach a unanimous roll. Next,
Recognition and acknowledgements.
Good evening, and thank you, President Calhoun, Chair Pelichkoff, and members of the board. My name is Justice Colangelo. I'm a current student at Henry Ford College and a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. I graduated from Woodhaven High School in 2012 and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, where I served for 4 honorable years. I obtained the rank of corporal and specialized in ammunition technician specialist. While in the Marine Corps, I served in Okinawa, Korea, and lastly Camp Lejeune back in North Carolina, the United States. Upon completion of my service in 2017, I enrolled at Henry Ford College and began the architecture and construction program, using my post-9/11 GI Bill to pay for my education. I am currently the Student Veterans Association president. Our goal is to provide support and resources for our student veterans on the HFC campus. I would like to thank Vice President Dingell Herbst and Associate Dean Bob James for all their support of the SVA. Now I'm pleased to read this month's HFC board acknowledgements. Congratulations to President Cavaluna for leading the men's basketball team to a victory over Oakland Community College.
Mr. Clencham, you should have said that when other board members were here, right? I need all of them to hear that.
we're not giving him credit anyhow, so.
Good. President Calhoun has an impressive 1-0 record as honorary coach.
A happy coincidence.
With the Hawks now ranked 22nd in the NC, as I was, NJCAA Division II men's basketball rankings. Congratulations to Ms. Ledra Johnson, Project Manager for Workforce and Professional Development. Ms. Johnson was selected as a winner for the Impact Award for the Michigan Works Association. The presentation will take place in Lansing on Wednesday, February 27th. Congratulations to Michael Zazali, math faculty member and the Student Math League participant, ranking for 4th in Michigan, 8th in the Midwest, an individual student who ranked 13th in the Midwest. Each year, the Student Math League has shown improvement under Professor Zalzawi's leadership. On January 21st, 51 HFC students, faculty, and staff came out in below freezing temperatures to participate in the 26th Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. The event is a collaboration that brings together students, faculty, staff, and alumni from Henry Ford College and the University of Michigan Dearborn for a morning of service to organizations throughout Metro Detroit. Volunteer activities included sorting donations at Fish and Loaves Community Food Pantry, cleaning stalls at the Michigan Humane Society, making fleece blankets to donate to Love of Michigan Vet, sorting food and cleaning at Zaman International, First Step, and other organizations. HFC student Bahir Alami commented, "Helping others is one of the simplest ways to thank God for his blessings. Helping others is what makes us better people, and a way to help and inspire others to pay it forward." Thank you for your time.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Thank you.
Blatcham, don't go anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did you want to make some-
Well, first, I just wanted to thank you for your service.
Yes.
Thank you for your support.
And I'm very pleased to see that you chose our establishment to continue on serving the community in a different fashion. So thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
President Cavalier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Clancham?
Colangelo.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
They should have told you I usually quiz folks here at this point.
With a grade, but he's 1-0, so.
Trust me, I think you'll be more than able to handle the quiz. Thank you for attending HFC, but tell me, what you said architecture is what you're studying?
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do when you grow up, so to speak?
Well, kind of an open-ended question. Well, graduate, for starters.
That helps.
And then from there, commercial architect, maybe move on to residential.
Okay. Maybe you could just give a little bit of background of what your student organization is doing and hopes to accomplish this year.
Okay. Well, like I said, primarily we're trying to serve student veterans, veterans around the community, as well as dependents. For starters, what we've done since I've taken over as president is we had a very successful job and resource fair. Very good turnout for that. We're hoping to do something again like that. That was in honor of Veterans Day. In the near future, I'm still getting more opinions on what we're going to do, but it's looking very promising, something along those lines again.
Good, good. And I heard you mention Dr. Herbst in your presentation. It sounds like you and he are engaged pretty actively. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything that the board or the administration can do to help you or other veterans? Didn't expect that question, did you? You got time. You can tell me anytime you want to send an email.
No, we'll definitely keep you in mind.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you again for your time.
Next, please.
President's items.
Thank you, Trustee Thorpe. Unfortunately, I have a few items that I want to relate to you all, trustees, and also to the community here that I would describe as putting in the category of sad news. Some of this won't be news to you, some of it may be, but I think it's appropriate that I make a comment on several of the folks that are affected by what is a natural part of our human existence, but it's always difficult, and that is when we lose family members, friends, or community members. And of course, the late and great Dean of the United States House of Representatives, John Dingell, passed away since the last time we met as a college board, and I wanted to pay tribute to him in small fashion, but also note that I had the honor of attending his funeral in Dearborn. Trustee Thorpe was there, many dignitaries were there, and it was a fine tribute to a person who served our community for 59 years and served in the United States House of Representatives for all 59 of those years, and is the longest serving member in Congress in the history of our union, right here from Southeast Michigan in Dearborn. And to give you some context about how much his service meant to our community, you could see some of the folks who attended that funeral and paid tribute. We're proud of our partnership with DTE, and it was, I think, a tribute to John Dingell and Dearborn that the CEO, Jerry Anderson, was at the funeral there, and I made it clear to him, both in person and in email, how much we at Henry Ford College appreciated him, and two of his C-suite level executives attended with him. Edsel Ford II and his son Henry Ford III are both good friends of Henry Ford College, and they both attended and paid tribute to John Dingell. Vice President Joe Biden gave the eulogy and did so in warm and enlightening fashion. His wife, Dr. Jill Biden, was present, and as some of you may know, she is a community college professor in the D.C. area, and I was lucky to see her on the way out while Trustee Thorpe and I were there, and let her know that the community college in Dearborn appreciated her and her husband's presence. I saw staff from Henry Ford College there, and I appreciate their attendance. Vice President Glass was in attendance, and I believe Dr. Boza was there, and I may miss other names, but I wanted you all to know, trustees, that we honor and respect the public service that John Dingell gave to this community for nearly 6 decades. And the Dingell name preceded him with his father in Congress, so his father served, and now, of course, our current state rep is Debbie Dingell. So the Dingell name has been representing us in Southeast Michigan so well, so effectively. I think we're in the 80 years now. Don't quote me on that. Another, and the last thing I'll say on that is I was fortunate enough to attend John Dingell's funeral in Washington, D.C., where he was eulogized by leaders of the Congress and the former president from both Republican and Democratic sides of the aisle. And from all of us at Henry Ford College and all of us who have any community associated with Henry Ford College, we send our condolences to the Dingell family and to John Dingell, and may God rest his soul in peace. Another friend of the institution recently, we sadly lost. Travis Weber was a young man who was 33 years old, and his last and most prestigious job was he was the chief legal counsel to Governor Rick Snyder. He was a personal friend of mine, and he was frankly instrumental in allowing myself and other members of our administration to access the governor's office to request that the funding for our capital outlay project get due consideration. Travis Weber was kind enough to attend my investiture, and he, as recently as about a month ago, is that right, Kathy? A couple of weeks ago, Travis came and visited me here on the campus. We shared lunch, and he had just finished his service with the governor's office and was now moving into private practice. He had a career, a short career, but a career of public service, both with the governor's office and the Michigan House of Representatives. He was a fine man, an outstanding lawyer. His death was unexpected to all of us as his friends, and I was at his funeral this afternoon in Saginaw, where nearly every leader from that time of his service and the end of Governor Snyder's time was there to pay tribute to him. And I'm sorry for his loss. We lost a friend in Henry Ford College, and I lost a friend personally. Yesterday afternoon, I had the unfortunate obligation and duty to attend one of our faculty members, Chef Chris Jablonski's visitation and viewing for his mother. She passed away at the end of last week, and I believe she was 92 years old. Is that right, Rhonda?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay. 88? 88, thank you, Dean Chapman. She was 88 years old, and Chef Jablonski tells me that next month, I believe, she was to celebrate her 60th wedding anniversary to Chef Jablonski's father. And Chef Jablonski is a valuable member of the Culinary Arts Department, and as anyone would expect, the loss of his mother and now the care of his father is particularly taxing on him. And I was very pleased and I'm pleased to see, and I'm pleased to report to you all that he felt and expressed his sincere appreciation from what he described as numerous staff members from the Henry Ford College and the faculty going to his mother's viewing. And I could see from the arrangements that The AFT gave a wonderful flower arrangement. I know that his colleagues from the culinary department stopped and saw him. We as faculty and staff gave a warm flower arrangement, and while I was there, I saw another staff member attend and pay his respects to Chef Jablonski. So I know that Chef is not back yet, but I want you all to know, and I wanted to express publicly that his mother is in our thoughts, and we support him as a member of our community. I hate to start off with sad news, but those are things that I think needed to be said publicly. So now allow me to transition to some happy news. We fight hard to tell the community, both public entities and private entities, the value that we provide in our educational services. And it's just this morning, and it couldn't have come at a better time because of the funerals I've been attending. Just this morning, I was informed by two of our academic leaders that we were selected for a substantial grant, both in money and in prestige. And I frankly don't think I would do it justice if I were to sit here and talk about it, because I didn't propose the grant. And I want the two people who did put work into it to come up to the podium, and that's Vice President Michael Nealon and Dean Janice Gilliland, to talk about this and hopefully give us something that we can smile about.
Well, thank you. I'll be brief because Janice deserves really all the kudos for this. The initiative is called Rebuild Detroit, and the build part is actually a longer acronym. But what we're really looking at is trying to support and build the population of underrepresented students into the area of biomedical research. And so we have a partnership with the University of Detroit Mercy, Wayne State University, and Henry Ford College in trying to open those opportunities and find support for students in those fields. This is a $50,000 grant, and again, the focus on building diversity in the biomedical workforce. So I'm going to turn over really quickly to Dean Gilliland how we intend to go about doing that.
So this is the fifth year of the grant that Wayne State University and University of Detroit Mercy had with a different community college partner. And when the NIH came to evaluate after year two, they actually asked them to cease the partnership and started involving me. And so just to provide opportunities for our students, I've been working with them over the past 2 years. We've had some students, I'll tell you a story of one student, do transition and actually doing research there. Unbeknownst to me, they actually asked for a change of scope to the National Institute of Health. I didn't even know they were doing this, so this morning's email was very much a surprise to me. So they said, we've been approved on the change of scope, and this is a multi-million-dollar grant for the larger partners, and this $50,000 will go to us and has to be spent by June, and I'll find out next week what we're allowed to spend it on, but I believe it will be on equipment and materials for the lab for them to do research. This will help us. It's very expensive to sequence DNA. We have to send that out. We can duplicate it here in our labs, but the actual sequencing is a little bit more expensive. So that's something that many of our students want to do research on. So this is very exciting. We also received a very high score for the 5-year renewal. So we do expect to hear within the next month about the next 5 years going forward, where the same or a higher amount of money will come to Henry Ford College. The one student I wanted to let you know about, so one of the other things that we'll do is articulations both forward and backward. They want to make sure that this involves reverse transfers. So they want to make sure that everything the students are doing here is supported with summer opportunities in research that they can transfer to the University of Detroit Mercy or Wayne State University in any biomedical sciences and continue their research. They will fully support the tuition of their junior and senior years. Those students who succeed can actually continue to a master's, PhD, MD, with all tuition paid. So I look forward to having a student do that, but this program isn't that old. Last summer, I saw Adam Al-Musaleh, he's a former HFC student in the program, do his research presentation for the rest of the group. He was actually selected to present at a national competition in Tampa, Florida, with some of the co-authors for the meeting of the Society of Integrative and Comparative Biology Conference. So we already have one student taking advantage of this, and we hope to facilitate many more to be able to do that.
Thank you.
Does anyone have a question?
Not until we know how we get to spend it.
I do have one question. You said going forward, there could be 5-year further opportunity. Is that $50,000 or more each of the next 5 years?
So that's what we're hoping for. So the rebuild grant from the National Institute of Health was for the 5 years. We're in the 5th year. That's why we have to spend it by June.
Okay.
But we had already applied for renewal of the funding, which most of the programs are renewed through the NIH, and there's only 20 nationwide. We're the only one in Michigan with this grant. So most of them are renewed. We did get a very good score. Our one issue is the Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Ambika Mathers at Wayne State University, accepted a position, she's the PI on it, accepted a position at the University of Texas, San Antonio as the provost. So we are just working with the NIH to see who will fill her shoes. But Wayne State has some other really great people, and I'm sure it'll be fun.
Thank you. So continuing on the good news, you may have seen Vice President Reginald Best come in the back. Vice President Best, there he is.
Yeah, he snuck in.
That man is never late, and he's not late today because I asked him to attend something that is a point of pride for us here at Henry Ford College, and that is one of our alums, Sam Baydoun, was sworn in as the new commissioner in the Wayne County Commission. He was sworn in, and I couldn't attend that because of this, and so I asked Vice President Best to represent the college at that swearing-in ceremony. And someone who maybe you all recall was the presiding officer, Judge Marion Bazzi, was the person swearing in Sam Baydoun. So while we couldn't be there, it was something that I was proud of, both because Sam's been a friend of the college and he's a graduate of the college. Keeping with that list of things that make me happy and are good to report, some of you may have heard of a position called the Solicitor General in the state of Michigan. The Solicitor General of the state of Michigan usually sits over there by Trustee Thorpe, but she is not in attendance tonight. I'll save my extended remarks about her swearing-in ceremony until she's here with us. But I will note that it was a fantastic event for our community. It was another fantastically proud event for our college. One of our alumna was selected as essentially the top litigator for the state of Michigan. And the community came out to show what a support base she has. And I was really, really touched and pleased to see that Chair Petlichkoff, previous Chair Mead, Trustee Lane, Trustee Thorpe, former chair and former trustee Marion Bazzi, and former trustee Amy Shawless were all in attendance with me. And if you had any association with Henry Ford College, you couldn't help but be proud during that day. And I'll make more comments when Trustee Hammoud comes back to us, but I do want to tell you trustees that were there, I really appreciate that. It was a point of pride for us at the college. I want to shift now to the one financial document that is in your packet. It is, we do not have as I call it, the rainbow sheet of cash today. I informed you all of Vice President John Statkowski's wrestling match with his stairs, in which he came out the loser, and he is still convalescing at home, but he sends his best regards. And this update and summary of the budget for this year is the lone financial document I have for you. You'll recall at our last meeting, Vice President Sadkowski presented to you what we call the mid-year adjustment to the budget, and this document reflects that. I will say it's only slightly a bit ahead, putting the cart before the horse, because that is on your agenda today to accept via vote the mid-year adjustment. But taking the assumption that you will approve it, this document reflects that new adjusted budget. And if we go to the very bottom line on the far left, you'll see when we started this year's budget, we had a healthy surplus budgeted of over $800,000. If you go over 2 columns, you'll see that the adjusted budget significantly reduces that, hoping to have a surplus at the end of the fiscal year of $435,000. And if you jump to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, you have what we are currently at the end of January, over or under our budget. We are now $271,000 to the good, or surplus, which shows you, folks, what we have is less revenue because of declining enrollment. So the budget forecast for surplus is decreasing. We have about 5 months left in our fiscal year, and I will continue to brief you on that trend and our attempts to stop that trend, but this document continues to be my candid and full report on what the budget is, so that if anyone asks you or me, we always report to you where we are there. Couple of events and updates I want to give you information on. Last week, I was in Washington, D.C. for the Association of Community College Trustees. I interrupted that conference to attend John Dingell's funeral on Tuesday, but I was able to attend some of the sessions at the conference. I found them useful. I have several bits of information and briefing papers that I'll be circulating to you via email. I was also able to spend about 40 minutes with Senator Debbie Stabenow in her office. I talked with her about higher education funding, the opportunity to potentially access grants in the Department of Education or the Department of Agriculture for the Capital Outlay building. We plan to start planning. And then there is work that John Satkowski's team is doing, along with the city of Detroit, to try to figure out ways to access funds that are available to individuals who are on the SNAP benefit program. Now, the SNAP benefit program is a federal assistance program called the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's the current version of what we may remember as the food stamps program. And that budget comes out of the Farm Bill. And I'm telling all this because you know Senator Stabenow was the chairman of the Agricultural Committee that drafted the Farm Bill in 2014. And in that Farm Bill, a little known fact is that individuals who are on SNAP benefits are eligible for half of their tuition at institutions like Henry Ford College to be paid for. And there are no community colleges, at least as recently as last month, there are no community colleges in Michigan who are taking advantage of that. And so we entertained a group of advocates for use of that from Washington State, where they have figured this out and implemented it quite well. And Senator Stabenow and I talked at length about how we are going to try and ramp that up here at Henry Ford College.